Holy it's real. After over 6 years of waiting, Silksong has been announced to release this year, and has even been given a release date because it took me so long to make this video. So, with a massive teaser at the beginning of the year, along with everyone under the sun milking the announcements for attention, myself included, I wanted to play through one of, if not my absolute favorite games of all time, Hollow Knight. I love this game. The combat, the exploration, the characters, the atmosphere, the music. I mean, come on, listen to the soundtrack. Everything about this game I absolutely love. If you haven't played this game already, play it. Now. For this run, I didn't want to just have a normal playthrough. I've played through vanilla Hollow Knight a few times in the past, and I wanted to mix things up just a smidge. This will be accomplished with a randomizer. So, let's go over the rules. Firstly, this is an item and room randomizer run. This includes all items and interactables, abilities, charms and their cost, shop inventories, transitions, you get the idea. Regarding the abilities, it gets more cursed. All abilities, including the default ones, have been added to the item pool, and some have been split. This means that the normal dash has been split into left and right dash, and the ability to heal is now something I have to find. Directional attacks, aside from down slash, are also included in this. To spare some of my sanity, I'll be using a map that allows me to see which rooms and transitions I've visited, and only the locations of items in those rooms. Also, in order to prevent soft locking myself, warping to any bench I've previously rested at is enabled. Lastly, my only goal is to beat the game, which I'll explain later. So, with all of that out of the way, let's gamble. Shockingly enough, I start the run where the game normally begins. King's Pass start. Normally, I wouldn't complain too much about this. Starting here meant I got a few easy items, but until I found a bench, I would have to warp here if I got stuck and would have to walk all the way through. But it is what it is. After finding an additional charm notch and some geo, the run is off to an okay start. At this point in the run, I was looking to pick up nearly anything. Aside from the lore, since, you know, it doesn't really help.
Oh, yep.
This run, including a room randomizer, meant that I could encounter enemies in areas meant for much later stages of the game. This was immediately apparent, along with that I was missing many of the intended abilities.
There we go. Awesome.
Fortunately, I was able to alleviate some of the pain within a few minutes. Unfortunately, I kept forgetting to use it for some time. Not too long after, I found a bench.
Cornifer, finally.
2 things to spend. And the bench! Yes!
Most importantly, the bench.
So what's the big deal about benches? For starters, they act as resting points that heal you, let you equip charms, and give you a checkpoint to restart from if you die. Secondly, you can warp to them. This reduces the number of rooms I would need to go through to get to new items or areas. Quite impactful. Additionally, since traversing or even backtracking through various rooms may be impossible without certain abilities, warping is required to prevent soft locking myself. Because of all of this, finding a bench is always a rewarding feeling.
Bench. Bench. Pretty bench.
As I vacuum up everything in my path, and nearly have a heart attack.
Jesus Christ. Hornet jump scare. What on earth?
I come across this strange, albeit cute, flying creature. He seems harmless enough, so I let him tag along. Following this, I luck out again nearly an hour and a half into the run, unlocking the mental capacity to swing the nail in another direction. This made combat feel a lot less restrictive. What was restrictive was the map. Since it was still early into the run, many routes led to dead ends.
Ooh, I don't know if I can do this room. Nope, not anymore at least. Another dead end.
As you may imagine, certain areas aren't accessible until you acquire an ability or spell. There are 8 abilities that allow me to access certain areas, 3 of which have been split, bringing the total to 11. However, I had zero clue on where any of these would be. With this being a randomizer, impactful items could be spread throughout the maze, or they could be all clustered in one room. I was getting plenty of other things, of course.
The ultimate power. Lord. Lord.
But the best part about any randomizer is that the most important items are often gained when they are least expected. The only matter in getting them is finding the right path.
What's this? I do no damage. Item in the right hand side. Grab it. Oh, let's go! It was worth it! Cyclone Slash! I just did remail. I made it through. Let's go! Right Mantis Claw. And I know where Cyclone Slash is. Let's go! Yes, I can finally heal! Oh my! This run is fantastic.
All within a span of 13 minutes, I'd gotten 3 major abilities nearly 2.5 hours into the run. Honestly, I was most happy that Focus wasn't at the very end of the game, locked behind White Palace or something. These 3 things really got the ball rolling. A ton of transitions, and items, regardless of their usefulness, were now accessible to me.
Alright, well, time for...
All the items I just got were fantastic. The only thing I could ask for at this point would be a better memory.
Oh, I can heal. That's right. I forgot. There we go.
But does any of this actually matter in the grand scheme of things? Wait, no. Too nihilistic. Is any of this actually necessary to beat the game? Well, the easiest way to beat the game is to defeat the Hollow Knight. Grub. However, even in a room randomizer, I can't enter the boss room at random. I'll first need to find the black egg and all 3 dreamers to open it, the latter of which have been added to the item pool. Keep in mind that this item pool consists of nearly everything in the game for a whopping total of 667 items. So, let's get collecting.
Nice! Cordifer, what do you have for me? Show me your wares. Keep them to yourself. And...
Go on! Go on! Go on!
lots of help. What die at this point I'm asking for? No, I missed the pogo. No, and the charm broke. D-dive, let's go. I'm first. Oh! Give me out, let's go. Yo, everything was just in here.
Within the span of roughly 4 hours, I had managed to collect several major abilities and items. During this time, Sly had been freed, but until I find his abode, his inventory remains a mystery. I also managed to find a few other merchants, including Gigi, with a large haul in exchange for rancid eggs, Grubfather, who really only had a rancid egg and the elevator pass in exchange for his own children, and Divine, who offers 3 rewards in exchange for their respective fragile charms, offered me lore and a grub.
Yeah. Is it gonna spit out the whole grub? Please don't. No. That is vile.
So far, the run was going pretty smoothly. Once again, a whole new slew of possibilities opened up to me. Since I unlocked a few spells, I doubled back to fight bosses I previously couldn't, including
No.
twice.
Okay, maybe I can keep my life bullet for a little bit longer. Let's go. So strong.
Then I rescued this guy who kept rambling about boats or something. I don't know. As well as taking the opportunity to do a little busting.
She's operating the tramway. What? She's got no eyes.
After duking it out with the paranormal and sending them back to hell, I managed to come across what appears to be some kind of traveling circus.
Nothing? What?
Grimm here explains that now that I have found this young creature, I am to undergo their ritual that involves imbuing scarlet flames in the child as a means of raising a new host for Grimm to take over after sacrificing his current body in order to sustain the nightmare's heart. Weird circus, but alright. After briefly stepping outside and feeding his kid the fire I've been keeping in my pockets, I go back to Grimm, he absorbs the child into his body, and makes me fight for my life for 8 straight minutes. Having successfully survived the onslaught, he then congratulates me for surviving the first fight in the ritual, makes the child evolve, and teaches it to shoot fireballs. Honestly, the best circus I've ever been to. Remembering that I'm still on a quest to kill my zombified brother, I get back to collecting anything I come across. And after unlocking the Screams of the Damned, I managed to find one of the best areas in the game.
Run, child! Shut up! Hold on, I'll be right back. Sit.
After I was finished simping, I got back to rummaging for anything I could get my grubby mitts on.
You can sense the 15 geo inside. Oh, yo, you wait, only left shade cloak? Is that split too?
Fortunately for my sanity, it is not split. I just hadn't unlocked right dash 10 hours into the run because GG still had it. But my luck did not stop there.
Let's go! Finally!
Ranjo Stenja.
Yes! Nailsmith.
Obviously, I upgraded my nail as much as I could, bringing me up to the second to last upgrade. This changed my nail damage from 5 to 17. I still needed 2 more pale ore to get the final upgrade for 21 damage, but this was a significant increase in and of itself. And then, it finally happened. After just over 10 hours, the first dreamer had been found. 1 down, 2 to go.
Well, there's greed that marks off all of the fragile charms. Let's go. Hello.
Oh! I've already crossed.
Thank you.
Oh. After getting a huge damage buff, finding a dreamer, and acquiring a couple much desired abilities, I was feeling fantastic. However, there was one thing that slightly dampened the mood.
No.
This was the one item that I wanted to put off collecting as long as possible. Earlier in the run, I had managed to complete the King Soul Charm with a discounted cost of 3 instead of the standard 5. This charm regenerates soul passively, and I had been using it for much of the run. By getting Void Heart, I no longer regenerate soul, but instead unlock 2 possible endings: Sealed Siblings and Dream No More. It was disappointing to lose King Soul, especially at the cost it was, but at least the final fight would be a bit more exciting.
It stinks, but it is what it is. Leave me alone. Wait a minute. Okay, well, that's... Wow, what a loop.
Despite this run taking longer than anticipated, exploration had been going well so far. I unlocked the upgrade for one of my spells,
Oh! Sweet.
and met the hunter and got his, journal. Petty squib. Your approach fearless.
Beautiful.
I even managed to find the last 2 pieces of pale ore needed to fully upgrade the nail. So, I decided to pay the nailsmith a visit for one last time.
Randomizer.
Hello, pal. With love
Jonsha.
and hate for you to do this for me.
Garadel Akari.
To think this moment has come upon me so soon. I must step outside a moment. Wait. Dang. He's already gone. May he rest in peace. He's actually just still wandering through the transitions. Can't find the way outside of his home.
Not too long after, I found another sad soul.
Oh! Holy shit. Sly's the Grey Mourner. Give me your flower.
Unfortunately, Sly did not have a dreamer, or really anything impactful.
Okay, well, Grim, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it.
But a few minutes later, I had managed to find the key to unlock more of his inventory,
Shopkeeper's key, now I can go back to Sly.
of which had a bit more to offer.
Oh, whoopa. Patamas, Gio.
Oh! Sly, let's go! No dreamer, but these were still great to have. I then went to the Tower of Love after previously being unable to make the climb, beat the Collector, and finally unlocked all directional attacks. I also found World Sense, telling me what percentage of the game I had completed, which was somewhat depressing to see given how I wasn't aiming for 100%. Having to deal with other things, I ended my session for the day. The next day, I was quickly rewarded. What's the forbidden power it's granting me?
Ottoman, let's go! Okay, there's one dreamer. One more dreamer.
The end was in sight. A small number of rooms, a meager amount of items left, and only one dreamer to go. Today was the day. But just as I was getting hyped up and ready to explore, I came across a representative of the Larva Protective Services. LPS had gotten reports of a child being used in a sacrifice to sustain the god of nightmares under the guise of a circus. Wait a minute. Upon hearing what I had gotten roped into, I realized that I had a choice to make. Continue the ritual and let the child become the next host for Grimm, or I could sell out Grimm and hand over the kid to LPS, where he may be given a better home. Not wanting to deal with the circus of nightmares, and definitely not for any other reason,
I don't entirely feel like fighting in KG.
I decided to sell out Grimm and hand over the poor kid to the authorities.
Here's the room. I found it. My eyes!
Oh. And there we go.
First time I got that achievement.
Then LPS sent me a good job sticker. Anyways, back to searching. I defeated Markoth and got Shade Soul.
Hey! I am the darkness, come to consume.
I traded eggs for everything Gigi still had. I finished collecting every grub in the game.
That is every grub in the game.
I unlocked an area with a lot of items, and got nothing for it.
seal, a rancid egg, and grub song.
I went through the door from Gigi and only found the black egg.
Oh my god, finally.
Only Lurian remained, and there were almost no rooms left to explore. The hype was building. I finally learned how to swim. I defeated the failed champion, and got his normal rewards because I forgot these weren't randomized. This run was taking so long, Coral ended up dying. I got Soul, Geo, more Soul, even more Geo. Then I even got...
Finally. I can beat the game. I can beat the game. Holy shit.
It had finally happened. I could finally end the run. So, without any hesitation, I went straight for the black egg. Over 15 and a half hours, collecting what felt like nearly every item in the game, exploring almost every room, I had my charms, my spells, and my upgraded nail. I was ready.
I'm here. Board it. Now that it's unlocked, I actually have to find the actual room. The final battle.
¿Quieres?
It was finally over. The Hollow Knight had been released from torment, the Radiants had been defeated, Hollow Nest could rest in peace, and Silksong tomorrow.